So from this point, we're just gonna continue towards the market with using the a YouTube channel as was promised to the rest of the trader. Good morning. And with Vesta Futures Trading, we're back in the market, continue the market prep, which we started on the Discord channel. Of course, I want to welcome all the new traders on the Discord channel. Thank you for joining. Thank you for watching. And it's beautiful to see you guys during the session, the prep session. Of course, within the Discord, we cover the rest of the market. We always the best for less, NASDAQ, which we're trading the most. Of course, we're going to talk about the Nasdaq. We're going to talk about the OMC announcement today. What should we do? What should we prevent ourselves to do? And of course, the market is already open in a very strong way. Of course, we're always going to start from the bird's eye view, looking at the interval. We still see no validation as far as the direction of the price today. We did so that we basically tapped the major supply yesterday. This was still on the 4 hours chart. Let us just mark a couple of things over here. We still see how the market basically moved from the last couple of days, weeks. We can see basically this pattern. There is basically the market sets on the demand and launching back to this supply, major supply, taking a small dive, and still where we are today was basically all eyes on the Feds, waiting for the 2 p.m. for the announcement. There's no validation as far as where the price is gonna go. We're gonna cancel this. I'm gonna jump right away to the 4 hours chart, and just to see where we're at right now. So we basically on the 4 hours chart, as we're always doing, we're basically marking the supply and demand area. But over here, we see a huge blockage over here. For the last couple of days, we see basically how the price basically sits on the demand, and it's going to be very hard to short the market. If you want to see it in a more extensive way, maybe we can dive into the 1 hour chart and going to see it in a better. So this is basically, as you guys know, we're using also Flux charts, supply and demand indicator to help us to basically mark those pull areas. So what we see on the white, basically, this is the pull side. I basically mark myself. This white one is basically a huge 4 hour demand pull, which is also hidden inside of it two demand pools of the 1 hourly chart. We'll see over here 43% of the comments is located. Over here is 44. So it's going to be very hard to short the market into the demand. I don't know if you guys want to do this following move. Of course, when we are within demand, the only options that we got, the only possibilities to basically to go long and do absolutely nothing. But of course, because we're waiting on the speech of the chairman, we still don't have a validation with which direction the market is going. Of course, the momentum shows that it's an uptrend. We're sitting over here on a supply, and we have 2 demands on the bottom. So what we want to talk about what's possible scenarios over here. So in this block, I wouldn't engage. I wouldn't rush through an action. Of course, you don't have to rush. The market is going to be a little bit choppy towards 2 p.m. We can also talk about how the market already open, why it's open like this. But in a nutshell, over here in this block over here, you don't really want to short the market because you have no validation. What the true short will be basically getting out of this block, getting back into the bottom side of the block, and then short it all the way to 25K. Somewhere on this area over here, this block, and this is going to be the right move to do if you want to short the market. Of course, this is not something we expect to see right now, maybe towards 2 p.m. But let's dive in a 15 minutes interval with a day interval. Let's see what we can do on the 15 minutes. So basically, I'm gonna again ignore this for a second. We still see the demand, of course, within the demand. This in the demand we see also over here, additional demand on the bottom, but 50 minutes demand, all hidden inside this 50. We're looking at the 4 hour block, and we see also here demand over here, another demand over here. Well, we want to short the market towards those tips. I'm not sure that you want to go all the way. The scalping those tips is very, very tricky situation over here. and I call it areas that I personally do not want to engage in. Of course, as always, as I'm saying in my videos, this is not substitution for financial advice. Everybody should consult with their financial advisor. This is just a straight tip, and the way we see that they continue and evolve, and we're trying to take an action on this. So, of course, everybody's going to act according to its own risk management. So, again, we want to see basically the price diving below, dropping back to the pool, and then might be considering action at that point. So, on the flip side, what we could see, meanwhile, we can see the price. I'm going to cancel this one quick. We can see the price maybe moves a little bit towards this direction, dive in, going back up, going back down, and basically call it the 700 range, which is the new supply that's been formed. Is going to be our highest high of the day. On the flip side, we can also see the prices going up, breaking this supply pool, going up, going down, and moving upwards to the next major supply. Continue to rally, of course. We wouldn't know until the next couple of hours where the FOMC and followed by the federal chairman speak. We'll see how it's going to affect the market. Of course, we have to take it very slow today. Of course, it's all about managing risk and be mindful. Don't get to oversized positions, especially not in this area right now. So let's call this area, I will say, oil market. Call it the 700. Let's draw some line over here. We have this is the 700 in red for short in the market all the way, and this action basically going to follow. If it breaks, we basically want to see this movement, and 700 will be basically our new short, and we'll see what's going on from here, how it's going to behave. And also we want to see the second thing is basically what we talked about before. It's call it the 250 or another possible short. I'm going to mark it over here around this area, around 270, 250 maybe. I want to see it breaking this area right here. Breaking this area as we mentioned before. Diving down, coming back to it, and then shorting the market all the way to, call it, let's set a text, 25K right here. 25K, that's what I want to see. From the 25K going upwards, back upwards, basically would be the, call it more safer long, of course, and all the way upwards, hopefully climb up all the way to the next levels. So this is how it looks for today. Of course, as I said before, manage your expectation and follow those strict rules that you guys mind to yourself. Not recommended to get involved in those in this specific area. This whole order block over here, the 4 hours order block, we can see is 2 tips over here of demands, and we never know where the price is gonna flip in reverse. Too choppy of a market. If you're scalping, you should scalp a very, very, very short scalps. And of course, I'm gonna see you guys on the next market overview. Those of you who want to get a full coverage of the overview, you're welcome to do so in the Discord channel. We're going pre-market before the market sets up, and we try to broadcast the last contract that we basically trade the most, which is the Nasdaq, on the YouTube. So also you guys gonna have a possibility to get involved and intrigued. So again, I want to wish you successful trading, and of course be aware of the changes today as we're working through the committee's statement. Okay guys, we'll see you in the next market overview. Thank you for watching.